Hello, welcome to ThePrint. My name is Amna Begum Ansari, and I'm the regular columnist with ThePrint. So, this week in my column, I have covered the sad development of Nagpur riot over Aurangzeb tomb, and I have always argued that Pashmanda Muslim, who makes 80%, nearly 80% of the India's Muslim population, should not see themselves as the legacy bearer of past empire, least of all Mughal empire. It has never quite made a sense to me why should ordinary people, those far removed from the corridor of power, feel nostalgia, pride, or even pain over rulers who never represented them. What connection does a weaver in the pre-modern history had with the king of that time, or with the desire of dynasty who did not even acknowledge their existence? And yet history has a way for of resurfing, often not as a memory but a conflict. In Nagpur, the full-blown riot erupted over Aurangzeb tomb, where Hindutva group were demanding to remove it. And the timing is also not coincident. The sentiment brewing over the Chhaava, a film that depict Aurangzeb's atrocities against the Sambhaji Maharaj, have initiated that kind of sentiment, which also some people see as a Hindu defiance of Islamic rule. And once again, the historical figure, long buried in textbook and monument, are being summoned to the present, not as a subject of scholarly debate, but as a catalyst for political tension. So, some are blaming movie for stoking tension, while other points figure at the Hindutva protester who burned the effigy of Aurangzeb. However, there was also which also spiraled in the rumor that Flame also consumed Quranic scripture along with it. Response has been predictable, accusation flying in every direction. Each side is convicted in their victimhood and blaming other side. And the meanwhile, social media is also ablaze with the blame game that has long abandoned the reason. The social media basically outrage, misinformation, and reactionary fervor drown out any space for sensible discussion there. The battle over historic narrative has become far more important than peace, social harmony, or even the lives of the ordinary Indian. And in this endless war, who was the right and who suffered more, the present continue to bleed for the past that cannot be undone, basically. So, first, I would like to talk about the blaming movie, which is a Nipa art or literature for steering sentiment. It has become the old predictable game in India, which played every time any narrative unsettled a particular group. Condemnation, censorship, and call for ban have become like very general response, and this is cutting across the ideological and religious line. I mean, Muslim do lead this kind of sentiment driven protest and many violent action, but let's not blame only them, because now everybody is doing that. Let's say Chhaava was riding the wave of Hindu nationalist sentiment, was stepping into growing trend of historical retelling of the past through religious conflict. Even so, how does that justify violence in the street? The problem is in the movie. It's the society that hasn't learned to manage its reaction. A mature society debate, critique, and disagree. It does not riot or turn historical grievances into present day battleground. Violence erupting at the slightest provocation is saying that the society's collective psyche is very fragile, and that is where we need to work on. However, also with the ease with which this riot erupted, that only proves that the real issue runs far deeper. This is not about just a movie or historical figure, it's a cultural war, a symbolic expression of present day tension that gets channeled into debate over a past long gone. Every monument, every portrayal, every historical grievances becoming a proxy battlefield, a way to argue about today without saying it outright. Symbolic steps have already been taken, renaming street that were named after Aurangzeb, altering school syllabus, renaming the Mughal garden, and reshaping historical narrative. But for many, this is still not enough. So, where does it end? And what would be enough? Or will the past continue to simply fuel another cycle of contagion? And who bear the brunt of it? It feel like nation's energy is being vested on the past, where so much is left to build in a modern India. However, many insist that no, this cultural war is very important to shaping the country's future. However, we can see after all this symbolic step, still Aurangzeb is anything but irrelevant. He even becoming a bigger figure than the past, and the more outrage, more the debate over it. It looks like an endless subject for now. So he's become someone who never truly lives the conversation for this nation. The same time, political actor who benefit from division, who forge their political power and capital from communal tension, are more than happy to fuel this fire. For example, Abu Azmi will rush to defend and glorify the Aurangzeb, while the other minister Rane would uh, argue to remove the Aurangzeb tomb. And this both side are playing the same predictable role in the script that benefit only them. What could be more convenient for those who profit from the polarization? They, but their own children will never take to the street, never face the consequences of chaos they start. So it is the ordinary Indian who will bear the brunt, caught in the battles that serves everyone's political ambition except their own. And the reality is that I do agree that there are section of Muslim who do see Aurangzeb in a favorable light and don't see the tyrannical side, but so does the leftist, regardless their religious background. And that's the idea of battle within the community, and a debate over what kind of figure should be upheld and what kind of identity Muslims should embrace. But in a climate of polarization and reactionary politics, this internal discourse gets overshadowed by the defensive posturing. And Aurangzeb name gets weaponized. It turns into also in a symbolic stand for present day Muslims, allowing his legacy to use as tool for reinforcing contemporary prejudices under the guise of historical justice. And the other side, basically you weaponize it. I mean, they would easily call any Muslim Aurangzeb ki aulad and put that connection of Indian Muslim to a ruler and history. They had no say in shaping. If peace and coexistence are ever to be more than empty aspiration, the focus of the nations need to be shift from decisive political figure to whom those built the bridges. The what to remember and how to remember it, and what lesson to carry into the future. That's more important. The question is, will we continue to let the course of history dictate our present, or will we finally learn to move beyond them? I have written more in the article and the detail analysis. Go please read that article, and for more such a video, keep watching the print. Thank you.